If you don't do the belly tuck, you're fucked. I'm gonna coin that phrase. Hell, I should write a shingle to that phrase. If you don't do the belly tuck, you're fucked. Very deep and inspirational. All right, so this is another very quick video on a little tip. I think this is more of a tip than it is a technical concept per se. And I wouldn't recommend this if you are just starting out, if you're still trying to find the sound, the healthy way of phonating, if you're still working those things out, if you don't know exactly how to feel your support, you don't have to worry about this just yet. This is more for the experienced singer, I would say, who already has a lot of the basic concepts down, who has probably sung a couple of performances and roles, and is perhaps trying to find a way to really engage more in their support. Perhaps you're singing a role in which the orchestration is a little bit more dense, it's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit louder, and you want to make sure you don't force or push the sound. So you really want to feel that anchor, that support in the body. So the belly tuck, what am I talking about? So I spoke in my previous videos that you can break down support into 3 phases. The inhalation phase, this is when you inhale air. As you do that, you're simultaneously creating the onset, which means lowering the larynx naturally, not compressing it, lowering it naturally, raising the soft palate, the yawn position, being free of any tongue tension or jaw tension. So as you're doing this, you're simultaneously inhaling air, you're expanding your intercostals, your diaphragm is descending and your lungs are being filled with air. And you can feel yourself becoming sort of like this oxygen pressure tank. That's phase number 1. Phase number 2 is the suspension phase, in which no air is coming in anymore, but also no air is coming out. You are adducting your cords in this phase. You're kind of suspended. You're not pushing in any way because your cords are adducted, so you don't want to push pressure underneath your cords yet because we're not phonating. You're just suspended. That phase is literally about a fraction of a second. And then the third phase, which is the exhalation phase where we phonate, in which we allow air to escape, our diaphragm ascends in a very slow manner, in which we can use our musculature to resist the diaphragm from shooting up. We're slowly allowing it to go up. Our cords were already adducted in the second phase, in the suspended phase, and therefore we can allow air to travel through a narrow opening to create phonation. The belly tuck, as I like to call it, happens very, very early on in the third phase, the exhalation phase. Your cords are already adducted since you have taken in your breath, and now you're suspended. You could do those little glottal attacks. It's like almost like a light cough. Shouldn't be aggravating. You shouldn't be tugging, shouldn't be abrasive. Cords are adducted. And so what happens is the belly tuck, right as you phonate, your lungs are filled with air. You're feeling a certain amount of pressure here and here in the sides as your intercostals are also expanded. And what we do is we tuck in the hypogastric region. This is the region right below your umbilical, right below your navel cavity. In other words, sort of the bottom part of your belly. And you tuck it in just slightly, okay? It's a subtle. We're not going, we never go extremes. We never go extremes. Just subtly tuck it in, and you will feel that pressure in that suspension phase that you were holding on to, when you tuck it in, you will feel your epigastric region, which is the area underneath your chest and above the navel cavity. It's between your chest and the navel cavity, right here pretty much. You will feel this epigastric region, a sensation of like it's protruding. It's not really protruding, it's not really coming out, but you feel when you do that an engagement in that area. It's a deeper feeling of support, okay? So to recap, we inhale, simultaneously creating our onset, expanding our intercostals, filling our lungs with air, sustaining that noble posture position, and then as we're about to phonate and our cords are adducted, we tuck in that bottom belly, that hypogastric region. And you will feel a more feeling of support. If you adduct your cords and maintain them adducted, and literally that just means don't let any air come out, you will feel like almost a feeling of I'm wanting to grunt. If you keep your cords closed, it's almost like you're trying to lift weights. But what we do is we want to do it in the exhalation. So we're not maintaining our cords closed and forcing them closed, forcing them shut. We're allowing the air to escape. So we have this. It's a much more energized, it's much more engagement. And again, this is why I don't recommend this if you're starting out, because the tendency is if you try doing this when you haven't yet found the way to release the voice and the sound, you end up grunting or pushing or forcing sound. And we don't want that. We want sound to come out very relaxed, just like I mentioned in my previous videos, very much like a sigh. Ah, 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 ah. The belly tuck is mainly for phrases that require a little bit more oomph, more heroic moments, phrases in which the orchestra gets quite loud and you really want to feel like you're not just in the stratosphere with no support. You really want to be engaged. It's not something that you have to use all the time. I think because I'm now used to it, I always try to do the belly tuck to always engage deeper in my support, but it's not something that is required all the time. If you're singing down here as a tenor, you don't need as much pressure and engagement and support. This is very parlando. Ah, ah. I don't need that much support, and it will still resonate very well freely. But something like the phrase America forever, like Pinkerton, that's Pinkerton from Mother Butterfly, in which the orchestra can get quite dense. You're getting more into that spinto category. Vittoria! Vittoria! It's an extra layer to go deeper into the support. So to recap, we inhale, create the onset, expand our intercostals, allow the diaphragm to descend, lungs are filled with air, we adduct our cords in the suspension phase, and then as we exhale, we tuck in the hypogastric region, bottom of the belly, which would make this section here much more protruding or much more present. The epigastric region, the region between your chest and your navel cavity. And as you exhale, you will feel that much more anchoring in the sound. Ah, 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 ah. And as you phonate, you will feel that much more grounding, that much more of an anchor support to the sound. This way I feel my support here and also in the bottom as well. You know, after doing it, I really do find that it's this movement of tucking in and this sort of epigastric region coming out. You know, it's very similar to like when someone is acting like they're gonna hit you in the balls and you flinch and go like, oh, oh, oh. It's very like, It's that same sort of idea. So there you have it. That's what I call the belly tuck. As always, guys, if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm a big ambassador for experimenting with the voice. I never endorse or force upon my technique towards others. Try it out. If it doesn't work, throw it away. Never do it again. Talk shit about me in the comments. It's fine. It happens all the time. Remember, this is my methodology. This is what works for me. I'm just happy to share it with you all, my observations, my experiences as a performing opera singer. So if you're looking for something new in order to better engage or better get that sensation of feeling engaged and anchor to your support, to your body, remember, if you don't do the belly tuck, you're fucked. If you don't do the belly tuck, you're fucked. Ooh, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
Do the belly tuck.